Hey guys, welcome to the official start of our Cancer season this year. We have a new moon in Cancer that we're going to be talking about today. The sun and the moon are going to come into their yearly alignment in the sign of Cancer at exactly 14 degrees, 23 minutes. So essentially like smack dab right in the middle of the sign. This alignment's going to be occurring at 22 degrees, 58 minutes universal time, translates into 6:58 p.m. Eastern time. And to me, I'm perceiving this new moon as a particularly special and very sort of like divinely orchestrated, divinely oriented period of time that we're going to be moving through. Divine protection and divine intervention are pinnacles of what I feel like is being expressed in terms of the way that the chart is coming together, the way that things are aligning and activating for us as we move through this upcoming new moon cycle, and also in this greater context of the unfolding cosmic blueprint, our current transition and shift of ages that we talk so deeply about on this channel as we do narrate the shift of the ages. We've got some more like bigger picture context that we need to go into today as well when referencing this new moon, because it is actually functioning, I feel like, as a pretty powerful midpoint in between two quite intense full moons that we are currently moving through as well. If you guys have been following along in my channel, you know that when we had this past full moon that happened at 1 degree of Cancer and Capricorn, I was talking about how that chart looked like it was a setup. It featured a grand cross with the sun and the moon at 1 degree of Cancer and Capricorn, but then also Neptune opposing exactly the black moon at 29 degrees of Pisces and Virgo. And I was talking about how that chart to me was indicating or depicting a setup for some rising and elevating levels of tension that were likely to be playing out over the course of the 4-week period in between full moon in Capricorn number 1 and full moon in Capricorn number 2, as Mars and Uranus actually come to a conjunction July 15th. To me, this was describing some type of battle underway. I'm calling it a spiritual battle because it seems to be between forces of the darker, lower frequencies and forces of the higher vibrational, lighter frequencies, the past and the future, that are coming to a head as the past is forced to relinquish its grip and the future is given dominance in terms of the way that things are going to unfold going forward. I feel like this is a major turning point when we're going to begin to see things from the old world that represent and resonate with those lingering but weakening frequencies of the lower vibrational energy begin to crumble, begin to fall apart, begin to just like break down, okay? And this particular new moon, here we are smack right in the middle of those two Capricorn cycles, which, remember, there's 2 Capricorn full moons. Full moons are also a release point, okay? And Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, Neptune retrograded at 29 Pisces. This really is the end of the energetic reign of the Piscean era. That's what all this boils down to. I guess that's probably that's like the thesis statement of this particular report. It's the end of the reign of the Piscean era, and the new moon is indicating divine protection, divine intervention, and divine assistance by way of 3 very highlighted fixed stars that are super involved in things going on this month, that are all telling the story of the light defeating the darkness, okay, and humanity being cloaked in the armor of God as we go through the process. So all that being said, let's go ahead and get into the astrology itself, where I'm actually pulling all of this from, aside from the greater overall context of these 2 Capricorn full moons and us being in the midst of the spiritual battle between the past and the future. Why do I feel like this is such a divinely oriented new moon? It's because the new moon is happening in a very tight conjunction with the fixed star Sirius. I'm going to talk about fixed stars in this report. I don't often talk about the fixed stars unless they're highly notable, but interestingly enough, we have 3 fixed stars, very highly notable, all happening in this Cancer new moon cycle. Number 1, the new moon, as I said, is happening in a conjunction to the fixed star Sirius, also known as the dog star. We have Jupiter right now in a once in 12-year exact alignment with the fixed star Aldebaran, which is the Archangel Michael star. This is one of the most blessed alignments in literally all of the heavens and all of astrology, okay? And thirdly and finally, you guys know that Uranus-Mars conjunction that I keep talking about that's coming up mid-month this month in July? Well, that is happening in a near exact alignment with another fixed star. That fixed star is called Algol, also another quite notorious fixed star known for its malefic, demon-oriented nature. It's the star associated with the Medusa in the mythology. So we've got two fixed stars prominent that are indicating literally divine blessings, divine protection, the armor of God, divinely oriented leadership, success and victory in the battles that we wage. And on the other side of things, we have one of the most treacherous stars indicating you know, like the presence and the potential for evil. So again, we are sort of caught in between this literal energetic battle that is taking place between the light and the dark as we move through this period of time. And it's very interesting how, and we'll talk about it as we get through this report, mythology is kind of playing into what's going on right now too, and what that is actually telling us about what perhaps the outcome of all of this might be as we move forward in time, move throughout the course of the month, and move through the rest of the summer and the rest of the year. So like I said, I feel like this is a special new moon. This is a very divinely oriented new moon with the sun and the moon coming into their alignment in the conjunction with Sirius this year. This is talking about a period of time where there is just a prominent divinely oriented influence. It's victory, as I said, it is success, it is very strong leadership capabilities, like doing the right thing, you know what I mean? And it's also the dog star. It brings divine protection. And then we've got our once in 12-year transit of Jupiter at the Aldebaran Archangel Michael degree exactly while we have our new moon energy playing out as well. This is, as I said, probably the most like blessed, fortunate, protective aspect or alignment activation in all of astrology, featuring these ancient fixed stars that have been known for like thousands of years for their impacts and their effects. And Jupiter expands things, right? So a very profound period of divine intervention, divine protection, with these two blessed alignments occurring simultaneously in between these two full moon periods, while we also, the other notable energy that we have coming through with our new moon in Cancer is that it is happening in a square to the nodes of the moon, again indicating caught in between the past and the future and the need for some type of breakthrough or release or change from what we've been doing, what we've been attached to, what we've been associated with, to the next chapter, the next phase, where we're going, where we're growing, how we're changing, and you know what we need to do in order to release ourselves from that old way, move forward, and the inherent conflict or struggle that can be sort of like encapsulated and all that. It's the energy of the seed when it's trying to break through the soil. Okay, that's we are trying to find our way. We're trying to emerge from these more limiting, restricting energies that have really encapsulated the paradigm that we are moving out of, that had to do with being controlled and being schooled together, that was much more repressive of personal self-expression, transitioning into an energy that is actually almost exclusively supportive of authentic truth and the ability to self-actualize in a myriad of ways and align with true potential, higher self, activate destiny, all of that. Okay, we are going through a collective upgrade, and it's not just going to happen overnight. Again, it's going to take a couple hundred years for this to really become an apparent shift that has happened. We've already been in it for 100 years. If you guys look back to the 1920s, that was really when, or around that period of time, that was really when people first started talking about the age of Aquarius and the shift and transition. Then it kind of got shut down for a while, for a long time, and now we're moving back into that energy, and it's really going to start exploding as Pluto, after Pluto retrogrades and comes back into Aquarius. It's going to be undeniable and unavoidable that like something is changing, and that just the way that the way that things have always done in the past, tradition, and again, like these various control systems and like authorities and like power structures, hierarchical structures and stuff like that, they're not going to be replicated going forward. Like they're not going to maintain their functionality as we move forward in this new energy, and we're going to have to come up with radical new solutions to things that we can't even think of right now, because we haven't come face to face with the scenarios that are going to provoke our mind in such a way to come up with those solutions. It's this hyper novelty energy that we're going to be moving into as the past energy releases its grip, and we go through whatever needs to go through over this next several weeks, actually, that may really be the medium that starts to break down and dissolve the remnants of the past control systems and stuff like that. So anyways, back on track with what we've got going on specifically with this new moon. With the Aldebaran Jupiter alignment and with the Sirius alignment with the sun and the moon, blessings, success, and the banishing of evil, a victory for the light, truth, freedom. God wins every time, right? Sometimes it takes a little longer to get to that outcome, but we have reached that specific outcome. And that being said, I do also want to say that this is like this first couple of weeks of this new moon period, we should be doing what we can to sort of rest. It's funny because when I was preparing this report, I kept seeing the Four of Swords tarot card in my mind, the card about the guy who is like just returned from a battle and he's safe and he made it back, and he's just sort of like taking a moment to rest, rejuvenate, pray, give thanks for being able to make it home safely from battle. The battle's over. There's no active like conflict or fighting going on right now, like living to fight another day, but also in sort of just like the little cocoon of comfort where we're resting and rejuvenating and preparing for the next battle, the next leg of the journey, the road ahead. That's what I feel like this new moon in Cancer energy is sort of giving as we move through the first 10 days of this cycle. Well, maybe more like the first week, or maybe even just the first couple of days. But listen to the degree placements associated with the new moon in Cancer. Remember, I said Sirius is at 13 degrees of the sign of Cancer. That's where that fixed star is located. This new moon is happening at 14 degrees, 23 minutes of Cancer. So in terms of the Sabian symbol placement, we're going to be reading the 15th degree, because we read the wave of energy that is coming in, not the wave of energy that is moving out and dissipating. 15 degrees of the sign of Cancer is a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. And 15 Capricorn is many toys in the children's ward of a hospital. So that being said, I do feel like this is indicating the need to nurture and feed our soul as we move through this cycle, to do what we can maybe to heal our inner child. And I brought up that tarot card earlier. The reason that I brought that up, aside from that was the image that kept coming into my mind when I was preparing this report, is because then after that I went and cut the deck asking for, what might be some indications for our upcoming new moon, and I literally got the Four of Swords card. So I do feel like this is a good day, at least, or a good energy, or a good couple of days here with this new moon to do what we can to kind of like lighten the load, streamline maybe some systems or some processes, make things a little bit easier for ourselves somehow. Try not to over worry, try not to over stress. The more you can kind of do to like kick your feet back, rest, relax, commune with friends and family, play, celebrate life, enjoy life, cultivate gratitude for what you do have the opportunity to indulge in, for the abundance that you do find around you, whatever that is, and surrender to what is also being cleansed and washed away from your life right now. And also, we need to really open to receive gifts and blessings that come in. As I was saying, this is a very blessed, fortunate time of year right now, aside from the like little spiritual battle thing that we also have going on. There could be some really like beautiful gifts or opportunities or blessings or rewards that you find coming into your life right now. And so be prepared and be open to receive that type of stuff as well. We are, of course, as I've mentioned, standing at this crossroads between the past and the future. And this new moon could really be bringing something in that we've really been needing to sustain us or fill us with the ability to persist somehow moving forward. With this Saturn retrograde energy that we've been moving through, you may have really felt drained. You may have really felt like you just couldn't possibly take on one more thing. Like, how am I going to manage? You know, what am I going to do? How am I going to make it through this? Like, do I have the ability to keep going somehow? But this new moon, I feel like, is bringing something in to fill our cup. It's reminding me in this moment as I'm speaking about like those scenes in the part in the Harry Potter books or the Harry Potter movies, where I don't remember exactly when this was, but I just remember the basic concept of like when they were fighting Voldemort and or fighting evil beings, villains, whatever, in like certain scenes, and all of a sudden out of nowhere there was like the Phoenix came in and like dropped a special tool that like in that moment was exactly what they needed in order to finish and execute and win the battle, even though like a moment before that like all had seemed to be lost. You know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like this new moon in Cancer is. I feel like it is like bringing in exactly like the very thing that we needed in order to like either fill us up or give us the energy or sustain us somehow, or literally just provide whatever it is that we need in order to keep going and to like finish it out, like follow through, finish the job on whatever it is. And in the context of these two full moons that we're in between and where we're at in our shift of the ages, which I've been talking all about, it's like I feel like this is the divine intervention that is taking place right now that is tipping the scales, okay? Like this is, I feel like we could really see some weird stuff happen this cycle that makes it quite clear that there are certain situations that are like failing to maintain control over situations, and there are other situations that are being bolstered and supported. And these are going to represent like, it's going to represent like an old and a new octave of things somehow, okay? So the fixed star activations should strengthen and uplift the collective vibration with Aldebaran, with Sirius guarding and guiding us to fill our cups before this next phase of our journey. And it does feel sort of, it's also giving like oasis in a desert type of vibes. I feel like on some level, like we're likely to receive. That's why I was saying, you know, be open to receive. Like there could be something exactly what you needed, just like the most crucial clutch thing that comes through like right at the last minute that really like tips the scales, turns the tables, or like leads to the outcome that didn't seem possible at this point somehow. So, you know, although we do have this energy that is indicating a time to sort of indulge, to heal ourselves, to take a break, to take a rest, to enjoy and celebrate life and stuff like that, it's not meant to be super long lasting. This is like about a brief pause. This is like a moment of peace. And although it may be well needed, although it may be well deserved, we are moving directly towards a Mars-Uranus conjunction that is happening in a very tight conjunction with that fixed star Algol that is a demon star. Okay, we've got Aldebaran and Sirius. This is literally indicating yet again angels and demons and us being caught in between, and the battle for good and evil, essentially, when we translate that into lower vibrational frequencies and higher vibrational frequencies, and the rebalancing of the scales in terms of which is going to dominate the energetic nature of our paradigm moving forward. All right, so again, the whole angels and demons thing is coming up here. Mars and Uranus in a conjunction. Uranus, listen, this could go a few different ways, but I do want to say Uranus is the galactic fixer. Uranus brings blessings in disguise. Uranus puts things right, and Uranus is always functioning to facilitate the highest possible like future path. Like Uranus energy tries to move things around in order to facilitate a path to the unfolding, like, divine purpose of things. It promotes the ability for the future that is meant to come into fruition That's why Uranus is known for making the changes for us that we haven't been able to make for ourselves. That's also why Uranus and Aquarius are very much associated with prophecy and very much associated with the future and everything new and everything that is, like, innovative and inventive and, like, that is incoming, that is up and coming, because it tries to bring the future into the present through changing the present to facilitate the future, if that makes sense. All right, so when we're talking about Mars and Uranus coming together, this actually means, you know, Mars is the fire planet, Mars is the lord of the battlefield, Mars is also the divine masculine energy, and it rules things that are happening. It's the action-oriented nature and expression of energy. It is how people are behaving, how people are acting, how actions are being executed and carried out, like the nature of how the action-oriented function of things is playing itself out. With Mars and Uranus together, this is, on one hand, going to be a very, very high energy period of time. Things are going to be happening very quickly. There are probably going to be explosions. There are probably going to be battles that erupt somehow, but Mars and Uranus, the wars that are waged are actually on a higher level in order to facilitate our movement towards the age of Aquarius. And let's also bring in, as I said, you know, I want to talk a little bit about the mythology associated with this fixed star Algol as well. In the mythology, Algol is associated with Medusa. Okay, and in the mythology, it's Perseus who slays the Medusa. Mars represents the archetypal energy of the mythological heroes, okay? So whereas this may on its surface value actually seem as a more, like, cautionary, I guess we could say, conjunction, like a more red flag energy we have going on, I'll give it that. It definitely does have those vibes. However, this to me actually is the third of 3 indications of slaying demons that are happening. We're talking about Mars, Perseus, coming into a conjunction with Algol, the Medusa, the demon star, with the planet Uranus, the galactic fixer, the great awakener, the one that paves the way to the reemergence of the light as we move forth into the age of Aquarius, the age which it rules and is defined by. So when we look at it in that context and put all those pieces together like that, and then add in the dog star, and then add in Aldebaran, Archangel Michael, we got a guard dog up there promoting our victory and our success. We've got Archangel Michael up there ready to cloak us all in the armor of God and swing the, you know, sword of righteousness. And then we've got Mars, Perseus, on the precipice of slaying the Medusa, by way of the, like, incoming age, taking the dominance and the reign energetically, moving us forward. So I actually do see all of this as quite positive. I do think, you know, there could be sudden, unexpected actions and events taking place. They could appear to be quite explosive and destructive. Now, on a more mundane level, this could have to do with land, resources, assets, food, buildings, projects, alliances, agreements, you know, markets, money, financial systems, everything. Remember, a lot of systems that have defined the nature of our reality for extensive periods of time are going to begin to no longer have stability moving forward. And with Mars and Uranus also coming together in the sign of Taurus, this is representing what we built, okay? Foundations of things. And so, you know, there could be some weird financial stuff that plays out during this time as well. But I don't know, you guys. Another thing, you know, how does Perseus slay the Medusa? He does it by cutting her head off. Algol is notoriously associated with losing one's head, okay? So, like, literally, you know, there could be some weird stories about stuff like that happening, coming up, or on a less literal level, a lot of people, I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to be absolutely losing their mind. The sudden events that are likely to take place with the Mars-Uranus conjunction are going to have people losing their head, losing their mind, losing their grip on reality, and with all these retrograde planets in Pisces, perhaps struggling to maintain their faith. So I will say, you guys, for those of us who are relatively awakened out there, awakening, I feel like, is a never-ending process. Many times throughout my life, I have come to a point of being like, oh, I'm awakened, and then years down the line, I'm like, I hadn't even scratched the surface yet. So I always hesitate before including myself in any type of category of enlightened or awakened, because I swear, the more I come to know and understand, the more I realize I literally know basically nothing. And I feel like that's kind of something that we're all going to be going through more significantly over this period of time as well. So if you can, you guys, if you do feel like you have kind of a grip on things, try your best to be there for other people. And really, you know, what we all need to do our best to pursue right now is like that which is emerging within us, that feels very authentic and that feels very real, and that we know that we need to like connect to and cultivate and nurture, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other, just doing little things each day to move towards some type of goal or idea that is like exclusively ours. You know, this is a period of time of like breaking out of the mold, of breaking away from like the ways that we've defined ourselves in the past, including people, including images, including like mental frames and ways of looking at the world. This is a transitional process for each of us as individuals, and it's not going to be perceptible for everyone. A lot of people will remain in this slumber for a long time going forward. However, I'll tell you guys, this next 20 years with Pluto in Aquarius is going to be life-changing. By the time we get to the end of that 20 years, there are going to be a lot more people that have gone through a relative process of awakening than we could ever anticipate right now, and the world around us is going to look incredibly different, and it's going to be in a much greater alignment with what we would consider to be like these Aquarian energies and archetypes and frequencies and stuff like that. This could be a very slow, gradual process. For a lot of people, there are going to be layers and layers of conditioned beliefs and responses that are still acting as an overlay to like the authentically emerging truths from within. And it may just take some time of going through this energy for those to begin to break down, so that you can gain a greater connection to that truth that is going to be emerging within sooner or later somehow. So I don't know, this whole thing, you know, what we're moving towards, I feel like we are in this Four of Swords energy to start our new moon cycle. Do what you can to nurture yourself and your family, spend time with friends and family. This cycle itself is likely to be quite climactic, and this Mars-Uranus conjunction will function as a catalyst for forward growth and progress somehow. Mars and Uranus, this is going to activate the future to manifests in this earth energy and the Taurus energy in the present somehow. Okay, this will be very catalytic in terms of allowing a future outcome to come to pass. Okay, the world in the sign of Taurus, fixed earth, is going to be unstuck, and things are going to start moving forward somehow, very actively, I think very quickly, like lightning fast. These changes could be coming following this alignment. Truly the end of an era being initiated with this, dismantling the energetic inversions, okay, that had been put in place several hundred years ago as the age of Pisces was beginning to fall, lose the reign of control. The planet and humanity were emerging back into the light. These overlays, these projections essentially that have held the planet and humanity in this state of like suspended animation, believing that the old world maintained the same level of power and control as it had in the past, even though it's in reality been losing power, losing dominance, losing authority for a while now. There has been a level of projection that has been being put out there in order to keep us essentially in a state of illusion that things were not changing, and things are changing, and that energetic inversion that was preventing organic evolution and growth because it was maintaining an image and a projection of that which no longer is, like that is also what is falling away right now. And as a result of that, there is going to be some type of like rapid growth that happens to catch up essentially to where we would have been had we not been held in that suspended animation as a result of that smoke screen or that veil or that projection of power that was never the illusion of control essentially that we believed to be true from the past, but that hasn't been for a while, and we're going to come to find that now. Again, that was also a theme that was I feel like quite strongly referenced in that full moon chart that we are on the way out of as this new moon comes into fruition. So I do see this cycle as the hand of God orchestrating events. Watch for miracles, things happening in ways that can be only explained by the presence of a higher power. This energetically represents the spiritual battle of the ages. To me, we literally even have Aldebaran and Algol being referenced very strongly in the exact same period of time. Divine intervention takes place this cycle to secure a victory for the light. This will over time free the minds and souls of humanity. Sirius is also a star that has to do with liberation and freedom, and that is another significant aspect of the process that humanity is moving through energetically right now as all of these activations come together. This will free the minds and souls of humanity so that we may be awakened and renewed in alignment with this cultivation of authentic purpose and potential required by the age of Aquarius. Okay, the Great Awakening. This is the Great Awakening. We've been talking about it for a while. Everybody's been talking about it for a while. I'm telling you guys, this is the Great Awakening. This next 20 years is the Great Awakening, but it's really it's being activated right now. Okay, like I was saying, this is like light codes to me being activated, and from here on out the scales are going to tip and divine order is about to be restored, and we're being very supported and protected as we move through this process. So that's what I'm going to say, you guys, about our new moon that we have coming together for us this cycle in the sign of Cancer. Let's get a synchronicity card now. God, Spirit, Universe, what's our piece of advice? We already got a card coming out, and it literally says, don't overdo. Do you remember what the Sabian symbol for the sun was? And the moon for our new moon? It was a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. Again, Four of Swords. Like, this is a pause. This is a break. This is time to rest, but we don't want to take it to excess in this energy, because we have to remember that the work is not done. Like, the journey is not over. The battle has not truly been won yet, even though it has been won, but it needs to play itself out, and we're going to need to be our best for what we're moving through over this next couple weeks. Do not worry about what you shall eat. Luke 12:27. That's weird. Okay, I'm just gonna say it, like, there could be things with food, especially with Mars and Uranus in the sign of Taurus. Like, I don't know, like, I don't even know what to say about it, but there could just be like food stuff that comes up and is relevant some reason as we move through this cycle. If you have a problem with appetite, be it for food or any other thing, be not concerned. Thank God for removing the desire to overdo in the consumption of food or any other appetite. So I don't know how this is playing in specifically right now yet, but that's the second time that this same theme has come up. It's literally the degree where the new moon itself has happened, a group of people who have overeaten and enjoyed it. And then this is also talking about not overeating, not going overboard, not overindulging in things. Neptune retrograde and Saturn retrograde also in the sign of Pisces. This definitely also diminishes our willpower, like our sense of perhaps like self-discipline. And I don't know. but that's what we need to be aware of, not to overdo things as we move throughout the course of this cycle. So that's what I'm going to say. Message from the stars and message from the synchronicity cards. I hope you guys liked the video, you guys. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share it with your friends if you think that they would be interested in this type of astrology content as well. Leave me comments, you guys. I'm so grateful for your presence here. I really, truly value knowing what's going on with you out there. If you're having experiences that align with what I'm talking about in these videos, please let me know in my comment section below. If you want to know what's on this whiteboard, I have a Facebook group linked in my description where I post those, and come back with me on Monday, you guys. We're gonna have a lot of astrology to talk about. We are, of course, in this period of building tension as we move towards Mars-Uranus conjunction, and I'm gonna be here to talk all about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you next time, you guys. Have a beautiful new moon in Cancer, and until then, bye.